Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very, very special edition of We Table It. Thank you for joining us. We are live on Facebook and on Instagram. Sorry. And today, I'll let you know just a little bit about We Table It, what we're about, and who we are. So, we are an online platform that looks to dissect society and inspire change. And we do that through conversations, normally conversations where we invite guests and we talk about a range of different topics that touch on different aspects of life. Now, today we have a very unique and special edition of our coffee chatter here at We Table It, and we are calling it the Freestyle Edition. There's so much that's happening around the world with us in our different countries, with different people. And we thought, why don't we actually just get together and have an unstructured talk about it? And let's see what we can discover. And we invite you to join us and be with us as we have this talk and share your questions, comments, anything that you would like to share in our comment section. And I suppose let's just get started. So, welcome, Eno, welcome, Osaro. And I know, Osaro, for you, it's good morning. And for you, Eno, it's good afternoon. How are you both?
Yeah, I'm doing great and welcome everyone to this freestyle we're having today. Thanks, Valerie, for asking.
Yeah, hi. Good morning. Yeah, I'm doing good. It's a pleasure to be here again after quite a while. It's a very cold morning. It's about 0 degrees centigrade here, so it's quite
Oh, good.
chilling. But what a time to be with my hot cup of coffee
Yes.
and be
Oh,
on
sorry,
we
as
table it.
you mentioned 0 degrees. In my mind, I'm thinking, doesn't that happen around Christmas time when there's snow and, doesn't it get cold then? Why is it cold now? Now I
Yeah,
thought it was autumn, leaves falling, and just relaxation.
yeah, it does happen, but I think it's a way of communicating for us that it's gonna be really cold Christmas time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the fall season started about uh 3 weeks ago. Yes,
Mm.
2 weeks ago. So it's pretty cold
Oh,
where I am when it's fall.
okay. Okay, gosh. All right, I don't envy you at all when
Please
it comes
don't.
to the cold weather. And for you, Eno, is it cold where you are or it's hot?
Okay, we had a rainy yesterday. The whole of the night it was raining, and but this morning it's okay. It's sunny and it's a good weather today. I wouldn't say it's hot. It's just there. It's just okay. I'm comfortable with the weather. We need it here that way. It's okay.
Yes. Oh, great. Gosh, here it's confusing. It's hot, but then it's the rainy season, but the rain is not really raining. So we're living in anticipation of what it could be. But generally, it's quite warm and yeah, a bit hot actually.
Gosh,
All
I
right.
love Africa.
I'm trying to do share on my platforms. If you can see us, kindly share this video or the broadcast is very important to us. Your support is very important. Help us share,
Yeah,
invite us.
yeah, and I'm sharing too.
Mhm.
And I mean, with permission from
Yes.
my two lovely hosts, I would like to also say to our teaming followers and supporters that we've got something coming for you guys. Just so you know, we started this about a year ago, and we want to reward those who have been with us through it all. And we've got something coming. Just keep your fingers crossed and keep up with your support, and we will be identifying you. And as we celebrate, we'll also celebrate you and appreciate you.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We've been talking about how do we, really reward our faithfuls because we have them. And thanks for mentioning that because it's something for all of them to look forward to.
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
let's see who has joined us here. Oh, we have Bashir joining us. That's great. Yeah, so if you join us, can you just kindly give a shout out and tell us what location you're joining us from? We would love to know.
Mm. All
Right, over
right.
to you, Valerie.
Yeah, we are looking
Oh,
at the be who and who is live. Hi,
mm,
Abdullah. It's a pleasure having you with us today. We want to see so many other people come on. I just shared on my status on WhatsApp. I've done that on my Facebook, and we are hoping we'll have more people come on. And like the doctor was saying, we are looking, and I mean, Valerie, we are looking at ways to really appreciate you guys. We're working on something really nice. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your likes, your comments, and your shares. Thank you for inviting your friends to help us grow this platform. We are really interested in building a community of change makers. We want to, change the narrative of things wherever we are in for the good of the community or the good of the country, wherever you find yourself. All right, you're welcome once again. We just want to have a freestyle talk. Just before we came in the studio, we were having a conversation about perimenopausal signs and the way it is, because we hear a lot of people or ladies get this this condition quite early. We know most ladies become menopausal at I think 50, 60, but we see some at 37 actually getting into menopause. That's one topic we're talking about at the back end. And some people might mistake symptoms. I had to come in with my own opinion about it. People might mistake you know, the symptoms for uh, perimenopausal signs, and it could be something else. Whatever it is, you should be able to identify what your symptoms are. Doctor, am I right? You should be able to identify them. And I think just before
Absolutely.
we should be able to speak with our, healthcare provider, our doctors, talk to them about what we are experiencing. All right. So when Valerie was sharing about some of these signs ladies may encounter, I'm saying that these signs could not just be perimenopausal signs. The hot flushes, the T9s, uh, forgetfulness, and all what comes with perimenopause or it could even be something, because those signs are quite similar to something I can relate with. I've had this condition, this uh, health condition for I think close to 4 years, if I'm not 3 years or so. And when the symptoms came, others were mistaking it for perimenopause signs symptoms. Mine is uh, I think weight loss. It came with sleeplessness. I mean, at night you can't sleep. The sweating too came with a lot. The first sign I had was, I think, ulcer, and then it degenerated to other things. So yes, we could have similar symptoms for two different conditions. This is why we need to speak to our healthcare provider. Doctor, what do you think about that?
Absolutely. You definitely, just as 6 plus 3 is gives 9 and 5 plus 4 arrives at 9. So we are different in many ways and would always like to fall back on that adage that says all fingers are not equal. So even though we all will experiencing the same phenomenon, uh, the attendant side effects or things that manifest may come different. For some, it may even come earlier. For some people, it may come later. But ability to manage that phase of life is key. And just like what Enoa said, there's nothing wrong in confiding with our healthcare provider, our primary provider, or a counselor because a new phase of life comes with new strategies, new thinking, and new ways of doing things, and we need to be prepared when we get into it. And I would like to say something here that we're not talking about something. A phenomenon that happens to reduce your womanhood or feminist. femininity. Is that what I would call it? It
Femininity.
yes, and the myth is that people think, oh, that's the end. I'm not gonna feel fly again like a woman, and I'm just gonna be there. And I hope I'm not jumping the gun, though. But
So you're,
some people would think that, oh no, I'm gonna lose that my feminine touch. But I don't see it that way. I see it as we're getting into a new phase, and you're being empowered. And for you to get uh, empowered, you have to let go of some things
mm,
so that you can work better in that new phase. I hope I'm making sense
Gosh,
there. Yeah,
you're making
so
so much.
I just had to chip
And
that in.
thanks. I just
Okay.
want to read from Bashir Abdullah Bashman. He's from Bauchi State. Smiles. Watching you guys. Cheers. Thank you so much for your support. It means a lot to us. We're happy you're with us. Thank you for coming on, everyone who's watching from wherever you are in the globe. We appreciate you. We want you to stay tuned and follow. If you aren't following us now, please follow because we have some exciting things coming up in the nearest future to make our loyal followers to be happy. So we want you to be partakers of what we want to share with you. In I think 1 month thereabouts, we are going to be for the Christmas celebrating our loyal followers.
yes, thanks. Gosh, thank you, Eno, for recognizing. Bashir, thank you for your comment. And, it's interesting when we were chatting with Eno earlier, one of the things that happened is I was on Instagram, Now, I know, we're told don't believe everything on Google, but we also need a disclaimer. Don't believe everything on Instagram. Because I think what happened to me, because I'm like, I've never thought about this perimenopause before. I'd never even heard about it. I think when I reached a certain age, Instagram decided, aha, now let me send you these types of messages, these types of posts. And
Yeah, yeah.
suddenly that's all I was seeing. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm dying, because they're saying if you feel thirsty, then it is this. If you feel hot, then it is this. If you feel tired, then it is this. And it was only now when I was telling Eno, now I'm too young. I know that I'm too young to be experiencing what they're talking about, but it's scary. And all this time, I'd never thought of my day to day experiences and day to day changes as symptoms of something I should check out. So I think one of the things, maybe as we're having this discussion, is looking at what are these symptoms. When things change slowly over time, it's easy to ignore, you know? It's only when Eno asked me, how do you sleep? And I was like, actually, that's a bit of a problem. My sleep is not what I expect it to be. Then she mentioned changes in appetite, and I'm like, oh yeah, actually, it is. Yes, there are times if I'm hungry, I'm hungry. If I'm not, I'm not. It's not like before where you could eat 5 meals a day easily. Now it's more of if I really don't want to, I won't. And so these things, because they're so day to day, you don't even recognize them. I think for me, like something has changed. It's only when prompted that I'm like, ah, yes, this is has changed. And now I can start to connect dots, which will probably help me understand if my body is changing in this way, how do I manage it? Is it illness? Is it treatable? What is it? So, healthcare provider, yes, that is a must to go and talk about what's happening. And also, a quick one, I like to think solution wise. Sometimes I like going to the doctor and knowing my problem, as I'll be helping them out. Like, I'm going to the doctor to say, I know I have this because of this, rather than allowing the doctor to tell me what could be wrong with me. So this time I'm actually going to go and speak to a doctor, allow them to hear what I'm going through so that they can tell me what it could potentially be.
All
Mm.
right. Thank you. While you were speaking, something came to my mind. We just want to have a free flow conversation. You guys just your thoughts on this. We are going to be moving from Nigeria to Kenya to Malaysia to USA, whatever topic is trending. Okay, I don't think you've heard about this, Valerie. Uh, the internet has been agog in this part of the world about
Mm.
there's this very prominent blog that has been posting the list of celebrities who are gay, who are homosexual.
Oh,
It
oh
has
my
caused
gosh.
buzz. A lot of people are talking like they're seeing names that they never expected and all that. Yeah,
Mm,
that got me thinking. Now, I've been thinking about so many things. We know this homosexuality thing is not something that allowed in Nigeria. In most countries in Africa, actually, it's not allowed. But
mm,
then, don't you think that there is a limit to what someone should do? I mean, uh, this is what I want to use about the privacy. You are invading privacy. You just bring out people's information like that. The source of the information, like you said, when you were talking about Instagram bringing up information that you could relate with at that time, and you were just seeing, as you were thinking about it, you saw those things, right? A lot of people get information online that they do not verify, and yes, they just hang on to this information. They begin to share the information, and a lot of lives are being affected. Just imagine this list of people who are gay allegedly by that blog, because it's a faceless blog. I mean, the owner, no one knows who that owner is, but that's a thriving blog. It has lots of followers and has become like an authority when it comes to grabbing information, or what is trending, whatever is happening in the country. So people just get this information and they just run with it without confirming the authenticity of this information, whether this list is authentic, whether the names that are called, every one of them are what they are alleged.
mm.
About it, you think it is okay for someone to just wake up one morning and begin to post the names of people who are into that? And what do you think the society should do, uh, or should how do we react? They went as far as
Mm.
sharing some, I think, some video clips for those that are their ardent followers to have access to some very, very video clips. And it got me thinking, why are you invading people's privacy? Why are the rights of people are being, it's just, what do you think about it?
Oh my goodness. What an interesting question, Eno, and so reflective of what's happening online. Because I think, first of all, we've got people who they want to grow their followers, their reach, their like. So they put out these statements, these false statements that are very triggering. And then everybody rushes there, right? And I think because, this hot topics of that are more negative than positive are more juicy and interesting and more people want to read them, they just spread like wildfire. Now,
Yeah.
the challenge I think that's there is when you see something in many different places, then you start to think that thing is true. Not that it's been verified, but it's like one of those, if everybody is sharing it, if everybody is reading it, then there must be, something to it. And also, platforms like Twitter, I think people are angry in this world. I don't understand. There's a lot of hatred there. You just post something, it doesn't matter how positive it is. Some person from somewhere is going to come in and attack you. And so for these people, you mentioned it's somebody was minding their own business. A celebrity is busy working to feed his family,
See their name in the list.
his wife and children, and somebody here is saying, look, he's gay. And then to make it worse, 100 other people are agreeing. And why would they be agreeing? So it
you
is
know
just,
Now,
yeah.
we have is those who aren't in
Mm,
that group. How do you think this will affect them? Of course, it's going to affect them negatively. There are some people that can't handle this kind of stress. They go into depression. For goodness sake, this is cyber bullying.
mm.
It's called
Depression,
cyber in countries
imagine.
where we have laws where people are taken uh, accountable for whatever actions. My goodness, this would not just go down. like this. Everybody has been quiet about it. Nobody is investigating whoever is
Mm.
person behind the blog, whoever has posted this, the reason why they're posting it, and so people really get depressed when things like this happen. And I think we need to speak to ourselves. I needed to understand I may not support that lifestyle. I don't talk about that. I don't support it. Definitely, I don't. Because I am straight, very, very straight. Uh, I wouldn't want my own children to go the other way. No parents wants it. I don't know whether some other parents would want that, but uh, the ones I know wouldn't want that. Uh, be it as it may, it is not right for us to bully people online. Not everybody can handle the pressure that comes with that. Everyone is commenting, everyone is sharing, and it's going to affect the way you relate with people, the way you business with people. Your businesses can be affected by information that's not verified. So people should take into account the implications of passing information that is not verified, because not everybody has that capacity to filter information or to decipher whether this information is authentic or not. Another
But
one.
I must ask, why, when I'm looking at it from, do people even care? You before, when we were younger, we'd be told there are people out there waiting for your downfall. And normally it would be a jealous person from your village who you have to be careful of. They're going to, do whatever they'll do so that you can have your downfall. But now that jealous person is thousands of people who,
Mm,
you're a hot topic for a day. They really are out there to watch you fail, and they actually find pleasure in watching people fail,
that's
and in pushing for that failure, and in really being aggressive and angry and rude. And they're like, yes, when they send that message to say, to know, you're ugly, then they're like, yeah, wait till she sees that message, then she's going to feel it. So
yeah,
I think even as people need to look at themselves very carefully, because the
Yeah.
things that I think they're doing to others, they don't imagine if it's done to them, to their family, to anything. They're just out there being mean. I don't know, Osara, what do you think?
Yes. Yeah, I came in, I jumped into this
Mm,
when you all have started it, but I want to believe that it is related to, what blogs are doing in the blogosphere.
logos.
mhm,
Yeah. Yeah. And there's this certain blog in Nigeria that that is sweeping the whole internet. And the reason is that or I don't know who the person is, but they put out news there that is so juicy, but they do it anonymously. Okay.
Yeah,
mhm,
And I got to know a few days ago that they had a Telegram group. And it's hard to censor Telegram. A lot of
mm.
things happen in Telegram, and mind blowing videos. I mean, of course, I would. Who wouldn't be, curious? I was curious. I
I
went to search them up, and
can't
I
even
saw
go
many things that There are
there.
some things I wish I didn't say. But what I saw was that, man, I've been missing gist. I mean, gist. There've been gist out there, and names. This person is bold enough to call out names, invade privacy,
Yeah,
and the truth is this: we are in the age where information sells.
true that.
The more
Mm,
juicy the information is, the more dollars you get in your pocket. And people know this. People know this. And so information sells, and information is cheap to sell. But the
yeah.
gains from information that spreads is enormous. And there's this saying that goes, um, falsehood travels around the world,
Mm,
even when the truth is still lacing his boot to start the journey. So falsehood
mm,
travels very fast,
Fast, yeah,
and it can impact lives. People have committed suicide just by
mm,
their content, their private lives being out there.
yeah,
But
mm.
I'm an academic, and I would like to also, infuse some basic business principles into this. We have two environments: the external environment and the internal environment. in business. We're business gurus here, so we understand that. But this
mm,
concept still applies to our daily life. And I would like to use it to sort of explain how I feel people can conduct themselves. The external
mhm,
environment is beyond our control. We cannot control it.
mm,
It is there, it will never stop. We are in an age where we have information that crosses boundaries. How are you going to censor information? Create national policies? How about
mm,
when your citizens are located, physically located somewhere else, and they decide to continue in that light? Or what if they use some kind of internet blockers, or what do they call this again? A VPN, to obscure their
mm,
location and still continue with the falsehood spreading? What if they do that? So this will not change. We are in that external environment that is here to stay. But the
mm,
good news is that we also have the internal environment that is we, how we conduct ourselves. I mean, I'm following the business principles. We talked about businesses, right? So how we conduct ourselves, it is under our control. We can control it. So how do we conduct ourselves in this age of information selling and very accessible information anywhere? How do we conduct ourselves? Which is, since it is under our control, then I think the solution starts from there. Do we do things that compromise our personal business and make it possible for it to be out there? Or do we conduct ourselves in such a way that even though we are, exhibiting some kind of behaviors or conducting some kind of affairs that are not, good to be in public, we put it in check so that it's not out there. So yeah, I think yeah, this is where our solution can start from, because we cannot control this information proliferation anymore. It's just mind blowing how much money is being made just by putting out information. Now people are coming up with strategies that will
mm.
make information even spread faster and have a wider reach. Go to TikTok and see what is happening there. Um, I mean, when I
Yeah.
figured out what happens on TikTok and how people can leverage the live sessions, to put out their business there, I just imagine what will happen if people start to leverage it to spread false information, which I think perhaps may be happening irrespective of the rules, but it gives us an idea of where we're going to. So
That's true.
the internal environment we can control, just like what happened during COVID. Many businesses started with questioning, oh, what's happening? The lockdown happening. How can we survive? You cannot control COVID. The companies that survived are those that quickly recognized the fact that this external environment was here to stay for a while. What we needed to do was to work on what we can control. That is our internal environment. Get online, get our businesses online, get alternative sources of suppliers or whatever, and then business continue. So I think we can. I hope I didn't make that boring though by bringing in this
No,
business thing, but
it,
I think we can apply the same principles here. Teach our children, teach our colleagues, teach our associates, our friends that hey, this is happening. It's like a mirror. A mirror would always show you, mirror you. It is there. You can't command the mirror and say, I have faith, I command this mirror not to behave like a mirror. No, it's gonna behave like a mirror. But we can decide that if we want
Mm,
to stand in front of a mirror and we don't want a mirror or a video camera to show our nakedness out there, then we put on clothes. Then we
that
keep
makes
our
sense.
business private. Okay. Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
we focus. Yeah,
That makes
that's just the point I
yes.
was trying to infuse into this conversation.
Yeah. Keep your business private. If you do not want on that blog, I don't want to mention.
You won't believe the video I saw,
I don't.
It involved two men. I wish I could unsee that video. I
Oh
was
no.
curious, and my curiosity,
Oh my
just like a
goodness.
cat,
Yes.
led me into something that, come on.
Yes. You. Oh no, Pole. Sorry. Sorry.
Honestly, wait. Want to hear the trending things in Kenya? What's going on in Kenya? Tell us.
Oh my gosh. Kenya is for every day. In fact, I was telling a friend of mine, if you don't have a vice, like if you're not an alcoholic or you're not running around with men or women, Kenya is every day is deep. In the morning, you just wake up, breathe, breathe, because today you don't know what's gonna happen. Um, Gosh, so Kenya, we are currently, our deputy president is in court going through an impeachment process
Oh,
Wow.
that is like a soap opera to watch. They're trying to impeach him, and watching it is fascinating. I mean, I think he's got some amazing lawyers. I'm learning how lawyers, do the dance in the courtroom. We have an Indian company that is coming to buy our, or let me not say buy, they are being given a lease or power to run our electricity, our airport, a lot of our infrastructure. But this Indian company is so corrupt, it's been kicked out of very many different countries, including India.
That's
So you can imagine the nation is up in arms. Why are we allowing them to come here when nobody else wants them? Why must they be the ones to come here and take over our infrastructure and national projects that affect everybody in the nation? So we have that. We are having it's our president currently popularity is very low. And just as an example, 2 weeks ago he attended a church service, right? Now, normally when he attends a church service, the church is full to the brim, yeah, because he's the president. 2 weeks ago, he went and attended a church service, and the church was almost empty. The congregants boycotted, they never came. So I think most of the people that were there were the people who came with him, and the choir and the pastor who have to be there, you know.
oh,
So something has changed. Kenyans, as people, following our protests and all of that, there's a lot happening politically. We can see they are fighting. We don't know what they're fighting about at the core, but we can guess because we're now seeing the effects. But the politicians are fighting. The people are tired. When we go to protest, we get shot. So now we're not on the streets as much because I don't think anyone wants to be killed right now. But you're seeing ways other people are protesting. I mean, that thing that happened at the church, it is a protest. You can imagine the news was president makes shortest speech ever in a church because
oh,
there are so few people. Normally he talks and talks and talks, but who is he talking to? The people he came with. So, you know, um, so Kenya right now is every day something new hits us and shocks us. But at the heart of it, following the protests that we had in June, here we are a few months later, we can see, yes, the president is still going strong. He doesn't listen to us. So he makes decisions without considering the Kenyans. Our vice deputy president is fighting for his dear political life in court. uh, we have this Indian man who is refusing to leave us alone. He's just trying to invest in everything. So yeah, that's our current drama.
oh
wow.
my
Thank
God.
you.
Kenya is interesting. And this reminds me of my two Kenya friends. At the time we shared the same apartment there back
Hmm.
then in Kuala Lumpur. Rennie and Kimani, just for a short time, but Manny was interested. And those guys
Yeah.
can drink. So Kim and Rennie, if you're watching us, thumbs up to you. Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, it
Guys
gives me an
became
idea of how interesting Kenya can be.
Mm, it sure is.
Interesting. Why we're talking
Nigeria.
about I wanted
Uh,
to ask, do you have 24 hours uninterrupted power supply in Kenya?
Most of the time we do. So I'll say a good 90% of the time we do. We do get blackouts. Sometimes we have a national blackout, like it'll be the entire country will
Okay.
have no power.
Okay.
But we do have blackouts. Sometimes we have maintenance, so for a day we won't have power. But normally, yeah, for the most part, we have consistent power.
And you guys are still to make it work, looking out for people who are better in managing to come manage for you. Why I asked that question is because in Nigeria it's still a struggle to
Mm,
enjoy in some areas, even 10 hours supply daily. It's hard to see where they have 24 hours power supply. Just last week
mm,
we had uh, grid failure, national grid failure, and
mm,
and for about 6 hours or so, but it was up again. This issue of electricity in Nigeria is something that's been at the top of every government's priority, but they come in and they go out. They've not been able to solve this problem. And what we gathered is even at this kind of situation where they cannot provide 24 hours uninterrupted power supply to their citizens, they still give out electricity to the neighboring countries, which is, it doesn't make sense to me. It's a no-brainer. So we are still there. We are hoping that we get to that point, because this is one of the reasons why the economy is weak. It's one of the factors, because it weakens industrialization. A lot of companies cannot cope with the cost of running a generator, buying fuel or crude oil to power their gen to do their businesses. So lots of people have migrated to other places where they have constant power supply. Lots of companies, multinationals, holding because of the costs of operation. And that includes power supply as well. So we are looking forward to a time where we can have a government that understands the needs of the people as regards this power supply, so that we can move past this situation, because we want to see a change. The currency right now is plummeting. I think dollar is at 1.6 something, if I'm not 1,600 for about a right for about $1, if I'm not mistaken. That that's crazy.
Mm,
Just last year it was less than 500, and this year it's 1,600. So we are going
mm,
through one of the things one of the factors I would attribute to the weakness in this economy is we are still heavily dependent on crude oil. We just in the surface say we are diversifying the economy, but we are not really seeing the fruits of the diversification of that economy. We are supposed to, you know, look back. In those days we used to be one of the major export countries for these cash crops, cocoa, for groundnuts, and yeah. But right now, we do not have anything. I don't think there's anything we are we are really exporting. Just very little
I don't know.
quantity. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to go back to that times when we had pyramids in the north of groundnuts.
mm,
They were looking forward to having our coffee because it was of good quality, our tea or whatever it is we had. Our palm oil, I think we learned, I don't know how true it is, doctor, that they had to take some seedlings from Nigeria. I mean, for palm oil, Malaysians had to come take some seedlings. And right now they are doing extremely better when it comes to manufacturing and export of palm oil and its related
mm.
products. Yeah. So we need to get to a place where we in Africa. This is one of the flaws we are having. I think we all have a unique problem in Africa. That's why we can only pinpoint one or two countries that are actually doing well, whose currency are okay. Rwanda is one of the countries doing well in Africa. Niger is coming up recently. Which other country are we going to talk about? It's not supposed to be so. It
Yeah,
is,
gosh,
yeah.
one of I just want to ask a question, because when I think of an industry like the way you guys have crude oil,
Yeah.
and you're struggling with electricity, and crude oil, the value in it is so much, right? But when looking at electricity and the challenge there, I ask myself, for this not to work, somebody has to benefit somewhere. Otherwise, if it's a problem, you would see that there's a solution coming slowly, slowly until it
You
finally
are right.
comes.
You are right.
So, who
Yes.
is benefiting from electricity not working in Nigeria? Because that's the problem that needs to be resolved for electricity to work, you know?
And that's true. So while Anna was talking, she was spot on. And just to clarify some of the things she said, you are
Mm,
you talked about palm oil. Nigeria used to be really big in palm oil, really big. In fact, the
yeah.
largest producer and exporter at the time. But now it is Indonesia number one and Malaysia number two. I do
Mm,
remember some years ago, I came across an exotic restaurant in Malaysia. I mean, it was on the water, and I was attracted by it. And I went there to have a meal, and I got talking with the manager, who found out I was Nigerian, and he took specific interest in chatting with me. And then later on, he told me he has been to Nigeria. And I was like, wow, okay, that's good. And I said, when was that? It was like in the early 1990s, I think 1991. And I said, what was your purpose of going there? He said he went to visit the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research as a government delegation. So then the Malaysian government sent had a committee, and this committee, they were tasked with traveling around the world, different parts of the world, to get information and ideas that Malaysia can use to catalyze the economy to become a high income economy and industrialized nation. He was part of the team they sent to Nigeria to get information, and they went and saw how boisterous oil palm research was and the kind of earnings we were getting. And it was from there they took some seedlings and some information back to Malaysia and kickstarted their oil palm, their
Mm,
foray into oil palm, and it has blossomed. And look at what they have today. And it's totally different from what we have. So
I,
yeah, you're correct. I was hearing that just before, but I confirmed it from a direct source. He told me unsolicited,
so
as
what
part
is,
of those that went. So that's
because we have,
on the one hand. And when it comes to the power, gosh, Nigeria has suffered for this, you know.
yes,
And
you.
and there's been a recent, I mean, I'm talking
Mm,
about the past 1 year, global farmer departure from Nigeria. And with a couple of colleagues from Portugal and Nigeria, we did write a commentary about it, which was published in the Sage and also the National Institute of Health Public Library in the U.S. I'll just put a link there. Maybe our followers can read it up. It talks about, you know, um, the attendant effect of what is happening currently in Nigeria with the exodus of pharmaceutical companies and other companies. But we major on pharmaceutical companies because that's a threat to public health. So it is huge. And I don't know when we're going to get it right, but I think we can kick off that discussion with where Valerie left it off. People
mm.
are definitely benefiting from these type of things, and that's why it's still on. Yeah, so let's kickstart the discussion from where you left it off, Valerie. I just needed to clarify some of the things that Eno said.
yeah, people are really behind this because I don't see any reason why we are experiencing this and why we cannot sort this. That reminds me, the case of insecurity, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. It's spread all over the country anyway. We have the headsmen attacks in the south as well. Um, Back then, late General Sani Abacha, he said that if an insurgency had crossed 24 hours, that means that the government of the day is culpable. And that is the truth. So it should be something that if they are really interested in doing, if it is something they are really concerned about, it doesn't take them anything to get these things fixed. So really, I concur with what you said. People are really benefiting from this. This is why we are still where we are. We would like to hear
Yes.
from you. What has it been in your country? If you are an African, do you enjoy 24-hour power supply? I mean, uninterrupted power supply. What are the trending issues in your part of the world? We want to read from you. And if you're just joining, thank you for joining. This is We Table It. It's a forum where we dissect society and inspire change with this kind of conversation. We come up with interesting, inspiring, and that we treat the three of us here and with some other people who are guest discussants that come in from time to time. So you're welcome. Please follow, please like every of our pages. We are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram. You'll find us on YouTube as well. So please like us, follow us, and do not forget to share.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I want to take us back a little bit because there's something I've been thinking about that Otaro mentioned. And it's a question that you asked in passing, but I'm like, oh my gosh, it's such a deep question about what we do online. And you asked a question, I wrote it down, which is how do we conduct ourselves, you know, when we're putting things online? And I thought about it from the point of view of genuinely, if I look at how I conduct myself online, what triggers me to post, to act, to do something. So when in Kenya we had our protests in June, I wanted to do at that point is really find a way to voice my anger as well, but I didn't know how to. So what did I do? I shared all the posts that I received because the message needed to go out. But because of the emotional state I was in when I was sharing, when you asked how do we conduct ourselves, I asked how many of those posts did I verify? Or did I just share because it was a trending topic on Twitter? So I think looking at how we conduct ourselves online is an interesting topic from what makes us do what we do, what makes us share information, what makes us post what we post, and why. And then looking from there in future when something comes up, now I'll be looking at it from a different point of view. Like if I'm just sharing information, is it to be part of the sharing or is it really to make a difference or an impact in some way?
Yeah. So really, this is a food for thought. As an individual, if the information you're about to share is not going to add value to anyone, why are you sharing it? What's the point in sharing it? You know, I think we need to grow to the point where we can, dissect information to know or verify to know if they are real or they are not. That takes me to a post I shared just yesterday. I saw a post about His Royal Majesty, the Oni of Ife. And that post says that he had taken for himself, I think, an Arabian or something, someone from the Middle East, as a seventh wife. And they put a picture, they put so many pictures of the so-called new wife and him. A lot of people were just chat. There was no negative. I mean, there was nothing to ask or say, is this true or not? Just because they are seeing pictures of the said bride and then His Royal Majesty. And when you look at it, those of us who understand Photoshop, who are tech savvy, we understand these things, we know that this is completely false. Someone who is very mischievous has created a profile of someone who's not existing, and that person has, I think, a Facebook, an X page for the so-called. They call her the. She's the Empress or something, 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 and I think she has the Oni too as a title or something. I can't remember, but it was something very ridiculous. Like she's already the wife of Oni, and I'm like, can't people just see that this is photoshopped? And
And
people just this is not true.
no, 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 no.
They
The
just
problem, yeah,
oh
you see, the problem, I mean, there's a multiplicity of problems. But one of it is, and I think this is a significant part of it, is that we're dealing with a semi literate population. The
yeah,
audience are the people crave juicy news. And I would say the badder the news is, the more juicy it is.
yeah.
People, so somebody just sits down and whip up sentiments. They know the kind of sentiments that is driving, and they feed people's emotions.
No
So for
respect,
example,
no
yeah,
respect. They just
I
bring
have
information.
ridiculous.
Ridiculous, I'm telling you, outrageous. And I'm like,
There's a certain Facebook page some years ago that I was following, and I was amazed. There will be a post, and you will see a minimum of 200 comments and thousands of likes. And it is so obvious that they are sharing unconfirmed news and bogus stories. And people comment with passion without questioning the source or, the rationale for posting it. And that goes to show that many people go to school, but they are not
But
educated.
they are not educated.
Many people study, but they are not literate.
Hear that?
And many people read not to understand, but to comment, to respond. It's a sad reality that, society, some people in the society understands, and rather than correct it, they are making money out of it, making money out of it.
Mm.
That's a sad reality. Sorry about that, doctor. Yeah. So yeah, and it's been quite an interesting one today. I've been enjoying this conversation so far.
Yes.
It's taking me to another topic entirely. My experience
Mm.
recently. So uh, at the workplace, one of the persons responsible for updating the pages I mean, content creation. We're talking about people who are educated, but not. I think it's a good opportunity to let you know if you're following us, you're watching us. We are in to help you grow. Uh, we want to, as much as possible, impact your life positively. So stay tuned, follow us. You need this information. So I was sharing. I said, so one person updated I think one of our YouTube pages with a content that was gotten from another YouTube page. Um, it was not doctored in any way. They just put our brand, they put the label on it, and they put without seeking permission, copyright. Uh, they didn't. So a lot of people understand. This is another. Now, people do not understand that there is something we call IP rights or copyrights.
Mm.
Yeah, trademarks as well. That people's products, I mean, intellectual property products, they have the
Mm.
right to sue you when you use it without permission. You know, when I was addressing this situation, it took me back to, there was I think we've had instances here on We Table It where we wanted to use other people's content. What did we do? We had to write to them, email them, whatever. We sought permission first before using this information or this content. So this is what
Mm.
people know. You don't just go copy and paste people's information or people's content. People put a lot into creating their content. There's a lot
Mm.
of no, a lot of I mean, intellectual power, a lot of even strength put into content. Some of them go way and above. They spend a lot of money to get this content made, and you go, you just copy, you just paste them. I mean, you post them, and you use them to get some of your more followers, or probably you get even more money, if you are monetized. So we
Mm.
need more people to know that it is wrong. When you want to use people's content as creator, or even if not content creator, if you're just posting for your personal profile, uh, I think it is very important that you reach out to whoever, especially when it's uh, you are doing business with that page, your page. If you are going to be making money out of that content, especially when you are making money out of that content, you need to get across to the content creator. You need to seek permission to use their product. All right. So if you're watching me, if
You
you're
know,
not people's information, they just post with in their content, yes, there's something they call copyright, right, trademark, know these things. So we'll talk more about that in a subsequent. Definitely, we're going to get informed about when we'll be having.
gosh, just adding on to that, I saw something online, content creators that I follow who go through different challenges when they're looking to monetize, being deplatformed, having their pages stolen, having their content stolen. And many of them now appeal. They're like, if you're going to use my content, the least you can do then is
Yeah.
at least tag me, you know. because now people are figured out how to make money online. You just need content people will watch. So that theft of content is huge. For African creators, I'm not sure the depth of how much our content is really being stolen in that sense, but we are heading there. And I think in some cases we might be the ones who are doing the stealing. So it is just so important. Acknowledge when you're using somebody else's content.
Yeah,
Ask for permission.
That's
Don't just
correct.
do it. And yeah, then that way it's sustainable. Because of content creators, there's this lady, I don't know her name, in South Africa. She accused an American content creator called Nara Smith, Nara something, who does these monotonic cookery videos. She cooks things from scratch. And so the South African creator came out and said, this lady has been copying my content, my ideas, my process, as in she's been copying it for so long. I need to come out and say something. Now, the other lady had more followers and a bigger community. So what happened is the community of this other lady attacked the South African lady so viciously. It was like, my goodness, as I said, angry people on the internet. But even despite that attack, it doesn't take away from somebody has actually taken her content and her ideas and is using them. And so the South African lady was backed into a corner where she's like, if I think I'll just stop at this point, because if I do it, this lady is still going to come and take my content and move with it. So there's a lot that needs sort of to be done in that space.
yeah, that's right, Valerie. You need
Mm,
to some
Yes,
type
that's
of
correct.
you need to get acknowledged. I mean, permission from whoever. That's the long and short. You'll get
Yes,
mm,
topic in our subsequent. All right.
yes, that's correct.
Right.
I'd just like to add that a lot of people, when it all started, made money stealing other people's content and presenting it
mm,
as theirs. And that is totally unacceptable currently because, I mean, you don't do so much work and then you just make so much money when those who did the work haven't even been acknowledged. That's not right. We need to follow protocols in getting stuff out there for the public to see. Yeah, although our time is almost up, but I would like to say that if you're out there amongst our followers and you think you have a juicy news or story to share, or you want to say something, you can actually join us live and we'll give you a few minutes just to add some color and flavor to whatever we've been saying and pass on the information. Well, we can give you that opportunity. You can
Yeah.
do that in the next few minutes and we'll welcome you.
Okay. Just to add to what the doctor has said, please, if you are watching us, we have a number of people who are live with us. We want you to say hi. We want to say hello to you. We want to meet you. My
Yeah.
co-host,
And
one
tell
of
us where you're joining from.
yeah, where are you joining from? Just leave us a comment. We want to say hi to you. All right. So I am in Nigeria at the moment, and we have Doctor. Where are you at?
Currently, I'm in the US.
All right. And Valerie is in Nairobi, Kenya. So we want to meet you. Where are you viewing
mm,
from? Please post a comment. Want to say hi. If you want to be a part of this broadcast for a few minutes, indicate and then we'll show you how to come on with us.
mm.
Okay, looking for comments. Looking for
Yes,
comments.
I think I've been looking at the people. We've got some fantastic supporters who go so way back because as they join the live, we're able to see who they are. And
Yeah.
it's really heartwarming when I see the names of people that we all collectively know and have interacted with because we're looking at relationships that are more than 10 years old. And just for all of you, because you know who you are as you're joining our talk, and I'd like to appreciate that here we are, more than 10 years since we initially met, interacted, have been close, and you're still willing to support us, be with us, work with us. So thank you for that, because that means a lot. And also, looking at the new people who are starting to watch and follow us, thank you so much, because it's been heartwarming to see somebody come in one week and then you see them for subsequent weeks and you're like, they actually are enjoying what it is that we're sharing and finding value. So thank you, because you keep us going.
So much. I want to do a shout out to a few of you who have engaged with us today. Maria, if you're watching us, we're saying hi to you. Thank you for joining this live. Betty Yosa, sorry if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Thank you for joining us. We want to invite you, if you are not following, please follow. It is possible. Thank you. We have Ramsey. Thank you for joining us. Please indicate where you are watching from. We have Dr. Ahmed Al Fahad, and we have Maitam Jabbar. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following us. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to us. Yeah, we have some other persons we've mentioned. Bashir Abdullah. Bashir, thank you for being a very loyal follower. Ahmed, sorry, Ban Bashir Abdullah. We appreciate you a lot. So we've
Yeah,
spent an hour on this live today. Do we
yeah,
have any closing?
yeah. I
Let's
would,
week, please. Let's just do some. I
I would
want
like
to
to,
have, yeah.
I would like to give a shout out here to Maria Young. You know, she is joining us out of New York City. This
Wow.
is somebody, yeah, this is somebody that, I mean, kudos to her, because I first communicated with this beautiful lady, about 15 years ago, and I've never met her in person. But you
Wow.
can imagine the support still coming from way back. No, yeah,
Yeah.
I've never met. I will be in New York sometime, I know, and I mean, this is somebody who will be amongst the first that I would,
We
look out for. Yes, and then we've
Amen.
got Bashir. Bashir being way back. I was serving my country about 15 to 16 years ago in one of the local villages in the northern part of Nigeria, and I happened to meet this amazing personality, Bashir. By the way, Bashir just had a baby. I think it's a baby girl. Yes. So
Yay!
yeah. So from We Table It, I think we should put up a post for Bashir. From We Table It,
Okay.
we congratulate you, and we hope that your baby will make you proud in the future, and I will hope that we will contribute to the success of your family and your baby, Bashir. And also Alex is someone who I also met about 15, 16 years ago when I was serving the country. And I mean, these were very young lads then, but you can imagine time has gone and they're still following, which means a lot. So Alex, wherever you are, we do appreciate you, Alex and Bashir and Maria Young and everybody who's been there for us. Thumbs up to you. And we know that we've got more educative and informative content to put out there, just so you know we appreciate you.
Wow, gosh, thank you. Osar, I don't even want to add any sugar to the sweetness that you have just said. All I'll say is today has been such an interesting talk,
Yeah,
and yeah, really eye-opening, and looking forward to our talk next week.
yeah. I think we should do this sometimes. A bottomless coffee
Yeah,
chatter. This was impromptu, and look at how we turned out.
exactly.
So it's good.
All right. So finally, from my own end, I want to ask you if there's any topic of interest from any of our viewers. If there's something you want us to talk about, it's okay to leave a comment or a message. We want to read from you. Okay. If there is anything trending around your community, your country, wherever you are at, please let us know. We want to talk about it. Remember, we are in society for change. So it's been a pleasure having every one of you with us today. We look forward to having you with us in our subsequent broadcast next week. It promises to be exciting. Once again, thank you for time with us, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye from me, and bye from every other one here.
Bye.